India has always lagged behind in manufacturing, right? I don't know why. We have the people, we have the land, but we've lagged behind in manufacturing. And there is an opportunity for India, I think, to become a global powerhouse when it comes to drones. What do you think are the policy changes that are still required in order to, really accelerate, really kickstart that drone export powerhouse? What are you not lobbying? What are you partnering with the government to change in order for that export really to kick off?
Okay. So, first of all, answering your first question, why we haven't been able, it's a long debatable topic. People can have very wide variety of opinion on this, that why we are not there. My personal opinion is that, see, government is from the people, by the people. It's the same set of people. Maybe tomorrow you become a politician and choose to take that route and do a revolution in the country, right? So it's among the people. I think it is the psychology which needs to change, and the core of it is education system. So I don't want to delve deeper into it. We can again have a different debate on this. But you look at why Taiwanese or Chinese are able to do better hardware manufacturing is the commitment towards that organizational goal and commitment towards the country. Okay, I think that whole by heart commitment inside deep in your heart, that yes, I would, as an individual, I will play my role to make sure that the big picture can be put together. I think that psychology is somewhere missing. We are too personal in nature. While we are very emotionally invested into the idea of nation, I think we're not very logically invested into it. Emotions are all good. We need to really logically get invested into that idea of nation and all that. Okay, so now keeping the answer limited to this part, now to be able to make drone industry export oriented is a couple of things which we are looking at and should happen is that, one, we should open our market of manufacturing of drones to our ally nations. We should facilitate everything possible in terms of airspace, land, tax benefits, whatever attracts them. Because only when you have global ecosystem coming and choosing India to manufacture, the quality will automatically improve.
So this is happening with Adani and Elbrith, right? Where that Israeli company is JV with Adani to do manufacturing in Hyderabad.
Those are people living above the cloud. So I'm talking about people living below the cloud. So yes, Adani Elbit partnership is happening. Before that, Tata, Sikorsky, Tata, Lockheed partnerships have happened. Same thing is being done for Rafael as well. But these are different size I'm talking about. See, 50+% of GDP is from the MSMEs. So unless this pattern or this particular thing goes and penetrates the MSME, I don't think that it is a revival which is happening. Okay. Having 4 or 5 cases where really huge size, huge investments are driving the decisions are not the case. It's the value add at different levels which should drive the decision. People should feel that there is a value to come and manufacture in India, right? And when you chase that goal, automatically you will be able to see all the reasons that, oh, this is something which we need to solve. There is labor law problem. Oh, there is a skill problem. All that you will automatically. So it's about being very specific about the goal.
But is there an FDI inflow problem on this?
Like, no. Is it unless you are, so in drones, 100% FDI is allowed till the time you are not making anything for defense. If you are a defense-oriented company making some very critical IP, then yes, there are limitations. There are no ban or there is no 100% let's say restriction on it. There are additional approvals and permissions which you have to go through, so that at least it is not coming from, let's say, sources from which the country should be concerned about.
I think for defense, it's 74%, if I'm not mistaken, is allowed through the automatic route.
I think that's decent enough to make sure that they don't lose control. 26% is the limited control which you need as per our company laws and all that. That's why they have kept it 74%, so that the Indian owners don't lose complete control over the company. That's more from the regulatory side. But yes, as I was telling you, the idea behind is that you don't let wrong means to invest into Indian, because investment can be a means of enabling a particular ecosystem and also disabling a particular ecosystem. It can be very easily used. In the COVID phase, a lot of companies, large companies went into struggle phase, and a certain country used that to nail down on the industry and take the control through public markets. So people don't want that also to happen, because that can be used as a strategic warfare against an economy. So we have to appreciate certain limitations and operate within those limitations. But coming back to the more original topic of drones, there are certain rules which require you to go through certain specific permissions before you export. I think there is an active dialogue already happening to decouple drones for defense and drones for, let's say, non-defense application. Though the challenge is that it's a dual-use item. If I can carry a 300-gram camera for mapping application, I can very easily replace and put a object which can be dangerous for anyone, right? So how do you limit that? That's one point. Technology and process have to be in place. Other thing is that, as I told you, we need to open our manufacturing market to international companies to come and set up their manufacturing units here, if not outsource, with whatever means of attractive incentives we can offer them, so that will create a lot of knowledge, not experience, and also increase the quality standards. Third thing which we need to do is that, which is very easy, you can buy drones as a hardware from any other country you want, especially one particular nation is dominating it. Okay. So the point here is that when you become solution oriented, drone is a means to collect data. When you have data, then you have data analytics happening. Can you trust that country with your data? Got my answer? So you need to use drone diplomacy to solve some really critical problem and giving the confidence that, boss, your defense data and everything is coming to Indian IT companies and nothing ever happened. So our drone companies can also do that. Naturally, export will happen. And when you start exporting, people will evolve. People, to meet the expectation of their new customers, they will change their technology, they will change their process. Everything will happen. It's a chicken egg problem. So I think these are two things which need to happen. Remove some very basic regulatory hurdle and open up the market in a very, let's say, focused manner where Indian diplomacy, which we have used for vaccines and everything else, can be used for drones as well.
I think that point, coming back to just one point that you said, that there are applications, there are investments that are happening at the large company level. But if it truly has to be a superpower, it can't be 3 or 4 companies leading the effort. It needs to be the entire ecosystem down to the MSME level that is providing value across different segments for it to be true superpower, right? And if you just go back to the example of China becoming a manufacturing superpower, it's not because of a few companies that are doing it. It's because there are just thousands and thousands of manufacturing companies there that supply to the entire globe. And just replicating that in the drone sector in India needs more participants than just 4 or 5. Any other?
I think there is another point to add over it, is that we have to increase the long-term planning horizon of India a little bit, because generally we plan for only 2-3 years or maybe maximum 5 years, knowing that okay, this is the tenure of the government. Countries like China, or specifically China, to be more precise, why they nail down on every sector they chose to enter in is because they have a long-term vision and they develop inside out. They first develop the capability and then get the orders. In India, it's the other way around. Generally, we are very our plans are made for a very small time. And we do outside in. First, we get everything which we need to eat, and then we figure out that, I don't have a digestive system for it.
And then we fail, and then we lose trust, and then the cycle goes back 2 steps back, 1 step forward. You keep repeating this cycle.
But things are changing. I think the current establishment there in India understands the value of long-term planning better than the previous options we had. So things are changing. People are making those kind of bold policy moves. And of course, when you make bold moves, you make mistakes, you learn from the mistake, you recover from the mistake. I think we as the responsible population, we also need to work alongside with the government and not only sit outside as an audience on the taking side, receiving side of it, but we should also be part of the giving side of it when it comes to thinking about the policy. All the policies, for the sake of information for all your viewers and you guys, in the draft manner is put for public comments by every ministry. We don't know. We don't go there, read it diligently line by line, and we don't do constructive value addition into that. If you start doing that constructive value add, some of your points one or the other day will be observed by people if it is logical. We just expect immediate results. We don't want to participate. Everyone knows their 6 rights which the Constitution offers. If I ask what are your 6 duties, hardly anyone will be able to narrate it. Right?
That is I don't even know my rights. That is the biggest problem. That is the biggest problem here.
And I don't blame the government. It's again from the people, by the people, for the people. So it's democracy. It's not that you chose someone all of a sudden because got born into one particular family and become the prime minister of the country.